My name is Michael Marino. My three names are Peter and Michael Marino. My show is called Desparately Seeking the Exit, and it is playing at the Edinburgh City Football Club on Leith Walk every night at 6 p.m. And it's free. It's part of the Laughing Horse Free Festival.
Excellent. So, have you played at the Fringe before?
I played the Fringe. Well, I didn't really play the Fringe. I directed something at the Fringe 2 years ago, a small cabaret show, and I was here for about a week. And I sort of got a taste of it and sort of fell in love with it a little bit.
So, do you think your approach is different in Edinburgh to how you give your material than it would be maybe where you come from in New York?
My approach has been very different in Edinburgh. I mean, I've done my show in New York. I did about 10 performances in New York, then I did a couple of performances in Hollywood just to get ready for this. And I had a few shows last week, and I realized that my audience is completely international here. So just yesterday, I started the show a whole different way, where I actually asked the audience where everybody's from. So this way I know, since my show is sort of about the cultural differences between Americans and Brits, in addition to putting on a musical there, I know which ones are the Brits in the audience, which ones are the Americans, New Zealand, Australia. Somebody was from Bath yesterday, I don't know where that is. But that's because I'm American. So yeah, it's been different. It's been great to alter the show slightly in places to make sure that everybody's getting the jokes.
So is the audience reaction change like every night? Is it sort of like...
It is a completely different show every night, even though 99% of what I say is exactly the same every single night. Yeah, I mean, you know, it depends on if it's raining all day. People are in a different mood. It depends on if people are, if it's very hot in the room, they're in a different mood. The tricky part is for me to be consistent and do the same show every single night, but also be able to adapt to whatever mood the audience is in. Last night they were raucous. It was like a rock concert. 2 days before that they were like just very polite and quiet, and at the end of the show, that's when they sort of gave it up and, you know, applauded wildly. But throughout the whole show, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're not getting any of this, but at the end they did. So, you know, it might depend on how much they're drinking too. You know, if it's a Saturday, people are drinking a little bit earlier. You know, there's a lot of bars and pubs in my area of the show, as well as a bar in the actual venue. One of the cheapest bars in Edinburgh, so we send everybody up there to have a few pints before the show. It seems to loosen things up.
Do you feel there's a bigger pressure on you as a comedian because you're in one of the biggest comedy festivals in the world? Do you feel that there's a lot of pressure on you to...
I feel that there's some pressure on me only in the sense that I'm in the Laughing Horse Festival, which has a lot of comedy acts, like stand-up comedy acts. And my show is a comedy, but I am not doing stand-up. It's a storytelling show that happens to have a joke every 20 seconds, like a sitcom. I don't use a microphone like a traditional comic would. So the only pressure on me is that people come in expecting a stand-up comedy show because they maybe just, you know, didn't get the flyer or didn't read the description of the show, and what they're actually getting is just, you know, a guy sitting on a stool telling a very funny story and sort of acting out all these different characters from the experience, which comics don't usually do. Comics usually just tell about characters. But since I come from a theater background, I'm actually portraying these characters, as well as myself.
So, I mean, that probably sells your show, I'd imagine, a lot, because, I mean, what if you had to tell, if you had 2 minutes with somebody on the street, why should they come and see your show?
Well, the first thing I say is you just see it because it's free. The next thing I say is that it's the story of the making and unmaking of a huge billion-dollar West End musical that was supposed to be a big hit that became a huge flop, and the struggles of an American trying to find his voice in a foreign country that actually speaks the same language. People seem to really respond to the word flop. As soon as I say flop, everyone's faces light up. I think that there's just an inherent interest in watching other people fail and seeing that person laugh at their own failure, which is what I do in the show. It's not a woe is me show. It's not a sour grape show. It's I'm sort of the biggest idiot in the whole show, trying to, you know, navigate the world of, you know, West End musicals and also a foreign culture.
Well, best of luck with it, and I hope you do well.
Thank you very much.
There we go. Thank you again, Pierre, for that. Thank you.